The Saudi cabinet approves a $10 billion injection into Egypt, and the UAE's hotel market boomed in Q1. You're watching the Daily Brief with Forbes. I'm RamiaFarrage. The Saudi cabinet has approved an agreement to support Egypt's economy with a potential $10 billion investment by the kingdom's public investment fund. The PIF is looking to invest in Egypt's education and healthcare sectors, as well as its agriculture, economic and development and financial sectors. The agreement also aims at enhancing trade between the two countries and expanding their activities and investments in other countries at regional and international levels. The UAE's hotel market performed strongly in Q1, driven by Expo 2020 and returning international visitors seeking beachfront and luxury developments. JLL's Q1 UAE market overview reveals Dubai's occupancy rates reached over 77% in the first 2 months of 2022, up from 62% a year earlier. The average daily rate rose by 53% to $222. In Abu Dhabi, the hotel occupancy rate reached almost 75% over Jan-Feb, compared to 61% a year earlier. The capital's ADR jumped 20% year-on-year to $108. Abu Dhabi Investment Authority is acquiring a 10% stake in HDFC Capital, a unit of India's top mortgage lender, for $24.1 million. Set up in 2016, HDFC Capital manages private equity funds focused on India's real estate sector, besides managing a nearly $3 billion funding platform. The housing finance firm says it's in active discussions with leading global investors to raise additional funds as part of its broader strategy to finance the development of 1 million affordable and mid-income housing projects in India. Asia markets were marginally higher today, while oil began recovering after the downgraded IMF global growth forecast for 2022 sent crude prices plunging. The IMF slashed its outlook by 0.8 percentage points, largely over inflationary crises linked to the Ukraine war and the coronavirus pandemic. It prompted a 5% dive in oil prices yesterday. The IMF describes the economic effects of the war as spreading far and wide, like seismic waves that emanate from the epicenter of an earthquake. The G20's Financial Stability Board says it's stepping up monitoring of commodity markets after the Ukraine war triggered large price fluctuations. The FSB says it's intensifying its monitoring of current market developments and emerging vulnerabilities. In a letter to the group's finance ministers and central bank governors meeting today, the watchdog said the war has reinforced concerns about the growth and potential use of crypto assets. It's working on the regulation and supervision of unbacked cryptos and stablecoins. Netflix says inflation, the Ukraine war, and fierce competition drove its subscriber loss for the first time in more than a decade and is predicting deeper losses ahead. Netflix says it lost 200,000 subscribers in its first quarter, falling well short of its forecast of adding 2.5 million. Suspending services in Russia took a toll, resulting in the loss of 700,000 members. Wall Street sent Netflix's stock tumbling 26% after the bell last night and erased about $40 billion of its stock market value. Let's take a look now at today's Forbes Real-Time Billionaires ranking. It tracks the daily ups and downs of the world's richest people. Our biggest loser today is Robin Zhang, down $3.9 billion with net wealth of $36.7 billion. Our second biggest loser today is Swiss dental implant billionaire Thomas Straumann, who lost most of his fortune overnight, plummeting $3.6 billion and leaving him with $1.7 billion. And our third place loser is Gautam Adani and family, down $2.3 billion with net wealth of $121.6 billion. Check out our website and our social media for all of the latest billionaires news. A guitar that once belonged to Oasis guitarist Noel Gallagher is going up for auction in Paris next month, and it's expected to fetch $540,000. Just minutes before the band was meant to perform in Paris in 2009, the brothers fought backstage, reportedly smashed the guitar, leading Noel to announce he'd left the band for good. Noel said he simply could not go on working with Liam a day longer. I'm RamiaFarrage. This is the Daily Brief. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.